Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, and today we're doing it on Facebook Live as well, so you get to enjoy it that way too, and you get to see the lovely face of our guest, Miss Annie F. Downs.
Hi. I'll even clap as well.
Yeah, you just clap
Just
for
feels
yourself.
right.
Yeah, hey me.
If you don't clap for yourself, who's clapping for you? That's what I always say.
That's exactly it. So we have Annie on. She's a New York Times bestselling author with books like Let's All Be Brave. She's a sought-after speaker, successful podcast host, award-winning fencer, boiled peanut enthusiast.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
He was. Everything's been true except the fencing part.
Really?
Just so you know, Betty. Yes.
Okay, so that was that. My information is wrong. So
Yes.
fencer is wrong.
Right.
Okay. Would you ever like to fence?
I mean, sure. I would try just about any sport one time. Right?
Really?
Why not?
Oh.
One time. We won't break.
Would you do skydiving?
No, that's not sport.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah.
To me, it is.
No. Is
If
it?
I'm winded, then it's a sport. and
Okay.
that would be
you
winding.
skydive or have you already?
No.
No.
I've
I
skydived.
don't want to jump out of a plane. You have?
Yeah, skydiving's great.
Why would you do that?
You feel bulletproof for about in the next 2 weeks. Honestly, it's nerve-wracking at first, but once you make the jump and you land and you live, it's amazing. So I highly recommend it to everyone. You know,
Okay.
unless you die, then it wasn't my fault. So I had nothing to
If
do
you
with
do
that.
decide to do fencing, it would
Yeah,
be great if
start
you
with
did that
fencing.
with Wally.
Oh, yeah,
but
I
don't
would
give
totally
him
do
a sword.
that.
Just let him do his thing.
So I'm the only one with the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want me to stab him with a thing that has a little round ball at the end?
You get it.
Now, and she's even round ball optional. You want to sharpen that point. Why don't you just go ahead and do that? Now you see Betty's in my relationship.
Yes. Now I understand.
Yeah,
Now I
everyone
understand.
thinks I pick on her. Nothing could be further from the truth.
It seems very mutual so far in my experience.
Okay, now let me tell you this about you, Annie
Okay.
F. Downs. You are a bit of an enigma, okay?
Uh-oh.
I always prepare for my interviews. I always do my research. And
Sure.
so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to just do some quick research on Annie and find out what's going on with her. There are very little information about your personal life out there.
Yeah.
She's
I
like,
like that part.
She's like, it's working. So are you conscious about that? Like,
I mean, what do you want to know that you can't know?
Okay, so for example,
Oh
okay.
boy, you opened it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can say no. No's a full sentence.
Okay, so you are listed on a famous people site that
Oh,
listed
great.
your date of birth. It listed your net worth.
Oh, boy.
I know. That you keep your love life private.
Yeah.
It said you do not discuss your past relationships or hookups.
Whoa. We're going there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why there's a website that says all of that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
And you'll love this. They said they would also update us later on your height and weight.
5'7". That's all we need to know of all those questions. 5'7".
That's the only one you want to address. Okay, so
No, I mean, I'll talk about any of those, but I don't, because I'm not married yet.
Sure.
I don't have kids yet. There is a dating life. And
Right.
so it's a real balance of what does he want public and what, because it's not the same as some people who get married younger and then they become public.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so y'all know a lot of friends. I mean, Betty, same true for you. Like there's a lot of our friends who are single and public, and figuring out how to maneuver that really wisely is because it's not just my life.
Right, and that's the hard thing because I've grown up, basically my whole career has been in radio. And in radio, your life is the show. And,
Yeah.
and so, like, I just brought everything to the show.
Yeah.
My life, everyone else's life around me.
Yeah.
And it caused me some heartaches in the past. Like, even with Betty, like, there's things she's like, I didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And
Do you say it more Southern when you don't want to talk about something?
I don't know what y'all are reckoning.
But yeah, and so it's like it's caused me problems in my friendships and
Yeah.
stuff too, because to me, like, very little is off limits.
Yeah.
But for people that don't live in that world or have
Right.
boundaries, it's
Right.
it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, well, I've been lucky enough to date really good men who are public figures and really good men who are not
Yeah.
public figures. And so in both cases, it is just a conversation, and I am more inclined to keep it private. I write about it in books,
Sure.
and sometimes I'll talk about it publicly, but yeah, I just don't talk about it a ton. There's very little in our lives that remains private.
Right.
And so there's like three things that it's because they're really sacred to me, right? Like I don't put my journal on the internet. I will share what I read or share what I read in the Bible yesterday or what I journaled about, but I don't put my journal on the internet or in my
Right.
podcast or whatever. And I don't put relationships in the real time.
Well, the other thing too, like, so because I know your date of birth, so I know your age.
Yes,
and
which
so,
I'm fine with. 41.
Okay, so 41.
July 7th. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I'm trying to
No,
be
I'm
respectful.
great with it.
Okay, so 41 and single, and
Yeah.
so that begs a ton of questions from people.
Okay.
Betty Rock is 35.
36.
And six. I get that wrong. I kept saying
But I
37.
appreciate
She
that.
has been 35 before.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
are totally wrong.
And so she gets a myriad of questions
Yeah.
and advice and
Yeah.
all of that. And so I would imagine, like, because there's nothing wrong with being single and being 35 or being 42.
Sure.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But there's this weird stigma, I think, sometimes that people, maybe well-intentioned,
Yeah.
want to help. And then that's like, I'm sure that's not welcomed. So maybe keeping it private is the better choice.
Yeah, and it just is. I mean, in the truest answer is it is a respect for the person in the relationship with me.
Sure.
That is the number one reason I keep it to myself until he and I decide, like, yes, let's talk about this publicly, or you can make this public. But yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of people who have a lot of thoughts, and most of the time, it's really loving, and it's what they want for me, what I want for me.
Okay.
And so a lot of times they'll say things that are, you know, have you thought about this person? Have you met this person? Can we set you up with this person? What can we pray? I mean, it's
Right.
always really like, because the thing I am really open about is I do want to be married. I do
Right.
want to be in that relationship.
And you're the same way, Rock.
Right. Yeah. So I think a lot of times, some of you feel this. A lot of times people are like, you talk so much about what you want. And I'm like, well, you also know I want to eat lunch. And you also know I want to eat dinner. Like, why would we hide our wants?
Right.
I don't understand why anybody would hide their wants. And so, but then there's a lot of this, like, it feels like people feel like it's extra to talk about wanting to be married. Do you feel that ever?
No, I feel
Okay.
like in a way maybe that I don't talk about it enough. I think people want me to talk about it more, but in some reality, I don't want to be known for my relationship status. I
that's
want
the-
to be
yeah,
known
that's
as
right.
because sometimes people, for some reason, women are looked on as if they don't have a significant other, then they're not someone.
Uh-huh.
And that's not the same for guys. Guys
Right.
can get around with just being single
They're
all the time.
successful.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
I
if
put my
you're a
career
woman,
first. Yeah.
if you're a woman and you're single, then you're not successful. And so I never want to associate my my character or my
Yes.
worth.
It is one
with
thing about
a
us.
relationship.
There are a lot of things about us.
Sure.
For all of us, for every person watching, for you, for me, there are a lot of things that are true about us. One of them is who we're in relationship with. And so I'm the same. I don't want to be a poster child for anybody for this group, but I certainly don't mind that there are men and women who look at your life and my life and say, well, if Betty and Annie can do it, if they
Right.
can, you know,
Right.
if they can do this and find a lot of joy in their lives
Yeah.
and have a really good time and cry about stuff and have feelings too, fine. But I don't want to be a poster child.
I think you mentioned it, though, like you said, well-meaning people. And
Yeah.
I think that that's the case because I know Betty Rock and I, we've had these conversations when people are trying to help and there would be times when it would frustrate her. And her take is, you know, they think that I'm not enough by myself. And I think what it comes down to is they know your desire to be married. And so that's why they're giving you the advice.
Totally.
It's not like they think you're less than. They're just trying to help you get to what you say you want.
But Annie, I don't know if you've been in this situation.
So right now, Annie feels like a therapist.
No,
She's
I'm
like,
having a great time.
This is how I feel. At some point, people hear, "Oh, she's 36 and she's single." I know a guy.
Yeah.
He's considered male and breathing, so obviously they're meant to be.
He's
And then you
broken.
have
He
to
makes
give
sweaters
they have
out of his
all-
belly button lint.
Oh gosh,
wow.
yeah,
But
and
he's great.
But yeah, and it's like then you have to give an excuse to your friend, like, well, then why don't you want to date him? Well, I mean, just because he's breathing doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we are meant to be.
Sure.
If I open that side of my life up, then it gives people the permission to set me up with people where it's like, you wouldn't even set yourself up with that person if you
Yeah.
were given the ability.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that happens. I mean, I think when I'm in a place where I'm being set up by people and I do think that happens, that people think they're single, let's give it a shot.
Right,
I
right.
usually say yes for a first date. I'm not in that spot right now, but I usually say yes
Yeah.
for a first date.
Sure.
Because I'm like, well, if I don't, this happened at dinner last night. A bunch of girlfriends went to dinner and one of the girls said I was on a Hinge date. And about halfway through, I thought, which of my friends can I set him up with?
Oh, yeah, that's
because she's like,
interesting.
this isn't a good fit for me, but I'm going to keep talking to him
Right.
because I wonder if he's a good match for one of my friends.
Right.
And so a lot of times I'll say yes if I'm looking, because I'll think it's either for me or maybe for one of my people.
She's like, I don't typically date someone that's murdered before, but Annie.
But Annie might like this guy. Right.
I mean, she does like crime shows.
Yeah, right.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so in keeping with this
What
trend
a weird
of,
website, by the way. Good research.
Yeah, thank you. That we don't know much about Annie. We're going to play Guess the F, okay? So Annie F. Downs. We'll play Guess the F, and Betty and I are going to attempt to guess what the F stands for.
Okay.
I think it's Francine.
Nope.
Oh, that was fast.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, I thought Francine, maybe after Francine Rivers. Your mom was a fan. I don't know.
I do love Francine Rivers. I wish.
Okay, all right. Betty
This is only because I just recently watched the cartoon movie of this, but Ferdinand.
I wish. No.
Well, Ferdinand, that's like a guy's name.
But it's like Italian-ish, right?
It's
Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
Spanish. Isn't Ferdinand
He's a bull. He's a bull.
Like a toro kind of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, you've seen the movie. It's great.
All right, well, that was
Good
odd.
guesses, though.
Yeah,
Good guesses
well,
already.
mine was. So you're not going to tell me?
No.
Dadgummit, Annie.
Maybe
We
it's
say fancy.
oh,
Might have been born just plain white trash, but fancy was my name.
Oh, yeah.
Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Or fun, because that's now so associated with me.
Is
It
this
worked out great.
because you don't like what the F
Oh
stands
no, because
for?
people can steal your identity if they know your first, middle, and last name, and also your birthday.
Okay.
So, so we just would like to
Well, they've
protect from
got
people stealing.
3 of those things. All they need is the 4th.
Real quick, I just need your mother's maiden name.
Yeah, exactly.
And your
put it in the category of are there a few things I get to keep to myself? My dating life, my middle name. So you
Okay.
found both of them, Wally. Well, your research is fine. That you found
I'm
the 2
trying.
things I don't really publicly
Let's go with Francine. I
Okay.
really like that,
Francine's
Wally.
pretty.
So here's the thing. This is Annie F. Downs Unfiltered. That sounds edgy. I
Yeah.
like when you do it that way. I am curious, though, like, do you find, we were talking about success and protecting anonymity and things like that. Do you find that your success has enabled you to have a lot of friends, or has it actually forced you to be more selective or isolated in your friend group? I mean, because you see this with celebrities all the time. Like, NF is a Christian rapper guy, and he has this great thing. He says, a lot of people know me, but they don't know me well.
Yes.
And because like I know a lot of people know me, but I have a very small group. Do you keep your group small, kind of Oprah small?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's seasonal. I think there are times where the right people are in the right place at the right time, and they can know a lot in that season, and then they don't stick around for forever. And I think that's okay. I think one of the things social media has done is kind of changed all of our friendships from seasonal to forever. And that's not how it was necessarily meant to be, you know, like, but now I'm Facebook friends with people that I knew in middle school that in no other world would I ever still keep up with them, because I don't live in the same town and we don't share life and whatever.
And I didn't like you in middle school.
Right. It was weird in middle school. Why do you like my stuff? So I would say that I have got a handful of very up close people who know just about most everything.
Yeah.
And then I also have, if you think of it like a bullseye, there's a bullseye to it, right? There's the handful of people that are right in the center, that know a lot, that know the things that I cried about yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And then the next group of people know are in my life and have my phone number. And, you know, I think that for me, that's one of my real lines is who has my phone number.
Right.
Because that's who can get me anytime.
Right.
And so anybody who has my phone number is a friend of mine. Like, we've connected in a way that I feel like I want to continue a relationship with you.
Right. I'll probably be asking for your number after this.
Okay.
Because I don't have
Let's
it
be
yet.
real friends.
Yes. Oh my God.
This is getting awkward.
Betty-
She's just saying that.
Betty's like, you have no idea what you've done. Because, like, I understand your bullseye analogy.
Yeah.
What do you do when, like, okay, my heart's like this, okay? And there's the bullseye, and Betty Rock is right in there.
Yeah.
Like, right in there in the
Yeah,
bullseye.
of
Just my
course.
inner circle. Love this girl to death. Would take a bullet for her.
Sure.
Then you've got Betty's bullseye. Wally's somewhere over here.
That is the nature of being human, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the opposite situation where you wanted to be closer to somebody, but then they didn't really want to be close to you?
Didn't we already talk about dating?
Oh, well, I'm talking about
Still not
friend
married yet.
situations. Friend
Yeah, of
situations.
course. I mean, I think one of the things about your job, and similar when I do podcasts, is we spend this time together and you do feel really connected with someone. And there have been times where when the show ends, I think, I bet we'll be really friends. And then we aren't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I almost followed Vanilla Ice into a men's room because I had interviewed him and we clicked.
Right.
And then I remembered I'm not in his phone, and this is going to be super weird.
Right.
If I walk in there and remind him.
Right.
You know, so I chose the better option for once.
I
It was
mean,
like, let it
recently
go.
I was on a podcast interviewing, and it was a slam dunk. I mean, we were having a ball. We were laughing. We were having a great time. And then the guest called me a media outlet.
Oh,
and I was like,
what?
Oh, right. We're not friends. We're not
Yeah.
friends. We're not friends.
Yeah.
You're doing 9 of these today.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's probably where it happens the most. I mean, it happens in real life too, where you think, man, this girl at church is so funny. I bet we'll have a great time. And also the thing, Wally, that probably limits me the most right now is my calendar.
Sure.
Work is busy for all of us. And there are some really important relationships that I am making space for. And other than that, it fills in. And so seasonally that shifts around. And so right now I'm not like making new friends at church and going to coffee. I don't get to go to coffee. I don't choose. I can do whatever I want. I don't choose to go to coffee during the workday.
Right.
And I don't choose to go to lunch very often during the workday. And so I don't have a lot of time. And so I'm probably lonelier than I was before I did this job.
That's the weird thing about it, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that. That's what I was getting at. I just wanted to hear you say you were lonely.
Yeah.
And so I did it. I nailed it. I'm Barbara
You
Walters
win.
over here.
Wow.
It's tough, but it's real.
But
See?
as a single woman,
Yeah.
you find out that those friendships are very important. You figure out what you want to keep, like personal. You keep what you want. You put the effort into those relationships. So how many would you say in
the very middle of
how many
female
people?
friends, there are 5.
Wow. Okay.
That's good. I get that. My circle is that small too.
Yeah.
Now your 6th friend is like what?
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to name them because
Exactly.
number 6 is like I swear I was top 5 when you asked to borrow money.
Aren't we
When you
glad
made me pay for
MySpace-
dinner last night.
Yes,
Yeah.
MySpace isn't around anymore because you can put your top friends
That's
on
right.
there.
Oh,
gosh.
I did not miss that.
Drama.
No, not at all. So we're talking about your schedule, and part of
Yes.
it's your own fault because you're working hard,
Yeah.
and that's on you because you're writing new books. What sounds fun to you is a
Yes.
kid's book. I have to first of all tell you, thank you so much for writing a kid's book.
Thanks.
I interview authors and stuff, and I hate to read. I'm dyslexic.
Oh,
reading.
this one's great for you.
Yeah, I mean, I read it cover to cover last night. There were moments when I cried. It was so okay. I skimmed it. No.
He cried when it was
It's
over.
like 200 words, Wally.
I know I have an issue. No, I did. I read it, but it was fun.
Thanks.
And so you've written so many other books with like heavy themes and serious stuff. Why do you go like kids book this time in your life?
I mean, kind of one of my goals is I want to be friends with anyone who wants to be friends with me in this kind of way, particularly in the work that we do. Like, I mean, that is our sentence at work is Annie is your friend you get coffee with, and sometimes you talk about the Bible. And so everything we say yes to has to fit under that. That's kind of our filter.
Right.
Is this a friendship move? Is this someone that you'd sit and have coffee with, like y'all? And will you sometimes talk about the Bible? And so the reason a kid's book is right to add to kind of the things that we're doing is when a parent feels like we're friends, they want a trusted voice in their kid's life, right? And some of the people who've been reading me, my first book came out in 2012, so it's almost a decade. Those girls, my first books were for teenagers. Those girls that maybe were 17 when we started are 27 now. And they've read my adult stuff and they read my teen stuff when they were teens. And now they've read Remember God and That Sounds Fun and all the others. And now they have a 3-year-old.
Right.
And so they're like, well, Annie and I have been friends for a decade. If I trusted her when I was in college and now I trust her as I'm a parent, now there's something for my kids. And one of the conversations we have a ton about fun with grownups, I'll say, what sounds fun to you? And they'll start with, well, I don't know if this sounds fun to you or this may be dumb or whatever. Everybody like shames their own fun.
Right.
And it's because in kindergarten, there was one cool thing to do on the playground and everything else was not cool.
Right.
And so my hope with what sounds fun to you is what we're actually doing is kind of cutting off a shame path before it builds. And so that's why I wrote it is I thought, what if I could say to these adults when they were in kindergarten that you don't have to be ashamed of what you think is fun.
Right. Just live your life and you do you, boo.
God made you on purpose.
Right.
That's the big, that is, if there is an overarching, why is Annie on this planet to talk to people? It's to tell them that God made you on purpose. And even what you think is fun is part of your makeup.
I love the weird kid that wears socks on his hands. You know, like when I see that and you're like, and people go, what parent let him do it? Like, oh my goodness, that's so great.
Right.
That is a kid that's going to have confidence and self-esteem. Doesn't care what people think, you know?
What I would give to go back and not care
what
people thought in middle school and in high school.
Yeah.
I this is silly.
And
but
yesterday.
Yeah, right. Thank you. When I was in middle school, I played the French horn in the band because everybody tries band in middle school, right? That's what you're supposed to do. And I loved it, y'all. I mean, I loved it with my whole heart. And at the end of 8th grade, someone randomly said to me, like in passing, you're going to try out for chorus, right? Because it's not cool to be in the band.
And you did?
I
Did
had
you
no
bail?
idea. Yes, because I was the oldest kid in my family.
Yeah.
No one had gone to high school before me. And I thought, oh, okay. And so I gave up this thing that I loved because one person in the hallway told me it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, what I would give to go back. And so a lot of times, a lot of my work is, how could I help Annie?
Right.
Young Annie. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay,
And
we're going
so-
to get to that. We're actually going to get to something about that, too.
Okay.
You mentioned sometimes the Bible, you know, like kind of like somebody one time told us about the show. They said, it's not like going to church, but it's like hanging out with my friends after church.
Yeah.
And I love that
that's
analogy.
great. Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to expect. So I start reading this, and I was expecting some like biblical stuff in there for the kids, but there's not a ton of it. There's like one or two lines in there that reinforce it, but it's not like a preachy, you know, religious kids book, you know, and I love that kind of stuff. Like I think that faith intertwined into reality and normalized is like a really healthy thing.
Yeah, that was our goal. I mean, I used to teach elementary school.
Oh, you did?
And so I did. You could have. That's in the research. You could have found
I missed that. How did I miss that?
I went to University of Georgia. Go
I got
to
that.
Oxycombe, and then I taught school for 5 years, and I taught 2 years of 5th grade and 3 years of 4th grade. And so my goal with every kid's book I've ever dreamed of writing was I want it to be in a public school library.
Yeah.
And so when we put it all together, I wrote it. When Jenny did the illustrations, we put it in front of a bunch of librarians and said,
I love that.
will this work in your public school? Because that was where I did my ministry for 5 years. Is I was a public school teacher in a public school trying to run a Christian classroom.
Right.
Right. Like I wanted the environment to be saturated, even though I was a public school teacher, and follow all the laws. You know, not do anything stupid, but be like, yeah, I pray for my kids, and you know. And so books like this that we call Sneaky Jesus, that just have a little bit of like, you can have fun at the place where you worship.
Sounds like a Toby Mac song, too. Sneaky
Right,
Jesus.
he can have it. He can have it. Just pay me for it. So that was my hope. So that's why it is the way it is. Because here's the other thing, Wally. This lights me up. Someone finds what sounds fun to you at their public library. Their kids bring it home from school. And the kids love the book, hopefully.
Right.
And they can see a kid that looks like them in the book, no matter their skin color or their ability level or what color eyes they have. And then the mom goes, or the dad says, let me look up that author. And then they find Jesus.
Exactly.
Because he's everywhere around me.
That's it.
And all my work. And so my hope is that we sneak these kind of books into all the places so that I'm a bridge. I just want to be a bridge. I'm never the stopping point, right? I want to bridge people to other authors and musicians that I believe in. A lot of people y'all know and love too. I want to bridge people to Jesus. I want to bridge people to Lady Bird Taco in Nashville. I want to bridge people to Radnor Lake. On the day the book releases on October 19th, we're doing an event at the Sevier Park Farmers Market.
Yeah.
I want to bridge people to that farmer's market because I love that place, right? And so I hope what sounds fun to you is a bridge for families.
Well, because the thing about the book, too, it's like a whole bunch of ideas of what kids, could do for fun.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you did a lot of these things from this list come from things your mom told you as a kid? Like,
that were fun?
When you were bored? Yeah. Like, because I know my mom used to make me run around the house. Yeah. Like, I'd be like, I'm bored, and she'd make me literally run around the house.
Totally. Yeah, it's that. And so every spread has kids doing multiple fun things on it. And part of it is I wanted a kid to look on a playground, all this is fun.
Right.
Or in a garden, all this is fun. Or in a classroom, all this is fun. So every kid drawn in it is a real kid in my life.
Okay, that was my other question. I was
cool?
curious because you're in here as Andy,
yeah, that's
obviously.
Me.
That's her. In case you didn't see it,
Yeah. And so on the front is a guy you know and love, Dave Barnes. That's his son, Sam.
That's great.
And my other friend, Kiki.
Who's that?
Kiki.
Kiki? Okay, that's so great.
So, isn't that fun? So we drew kids. So I emailed and called all my friends and said, will you please send over pictures of your kids? And the illustrator will put as many as she can in there.
That's awesome.
And then also like the grandmother on the grandmother page looks just like my grandmother.
Aww.
So there's all these little things like
any
that.
Any of these kids do I recognize?
No, you don't know any of those kids. The Barnes are probably the only kids you would. McLaughlin's kids are in there. Do you know John McLaughlin's?
No.
Okay, his kids are in there.
So here's the thing. Like, I am curious about this because do you know how many suggestions of fun things to do are in the book?
Do you?
No, I started.
I will count it though.
I started to count, and then I lose
50 probably. I bet it's close to 50.
At least that. When did you know you were running out of ideas and it was time to stop writing?
Here's the real joke. Kids' books are 32 pages.
Oh,
so I didn't run out. I didn't run out. I've got 3 more books worth of ideas. We had to. I wrote out every location and everything I wanted to say, and we had to narrow it down to 32.
Okay.
And so I didn't run out. Wally, y'all both know me well enough. I did not run out of words. Yeah. They ran out of pages. We won't run out of words here. We'll run out of time.
That's exactly it.
It's never a words problem with me.
That's awesome. Okay, so real quick, people getting this book, you know, parents for their kids and kids reading What Sounds Fun to You by Miss Annie F. Downs. Like, what is the one takeaway? Because I know it's a fun thing for kids, but what are you hoping that kids actually get from this? Or the message that they learn and they take away, and hopefully, you know, like the thing that carries them through their life versus the negative thing they remember.
Yeah, I mean, I want them to turn a page and go, I can do that too.
Okay.
I can do that too. I want them to walk away from reading it or having it read to them and think, I'm not an accident.
Right.
This thing in me that I love about being me, I can keep that. I don't have to give that up because someone else said it isn't cool, or I don't have to give it up because it isn't what everyone else on the playground is doing. It's just a fall in love with the way God made you book.
Okay. I love that. Okay. And so since you wrote a kid's book, I thought it would be fun to talk about you a little bit more as a kid in your life. Okay. So we know you as Annie F. Downs, author, speaker, amazing woman, great hair lady. Fencer.
I'll take it.
There you go. I'm really good at this, right?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Great hair lady.
But I want you to give me a 5-word sentence. Okay. So not adjectives, a 5-word sentence that would describe Annie F. Downs high school.
As a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, high schooler.
High school.
Bless. So 5 words.
Yeah.
That's the real challenge, Wally.
I know.
Do I have to start with Annie is, or does
No,
it have to
I'll
be a
give you
sentence?
that. I'll
5
give you-
descriptors?
No, it's got to be a sentence.
You said not not adjectives.
Yeah. I mean, you can use adjectives, but like it needs
not
to
bing,
make
bing,
a
bing,
sentence.
bing. Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Annie in high school. Annie is trying really hard.
Oh, I like that.
I tried really hard.
That's good. And I get that because I was part of a bunch of different friend groups, but I was never the guy in school.
Yeah.
And so I would morph my personality to whatever group I was around for that same reason of trying.
What were you trying for?
I just was trying. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to get around. I really struggled. I write about this in my first book is called Perfectly Unique, and I write about this a lot in Perfectly Unique for teenage girls. I mean, I just really, I didn't get settled in my body for a long time because my body didn't look like everybody else's body. And so it took me a long time to so all of high school was trying really hard to figure out why my body was different than everybody else's body, figuring out why my friendships I didn't feel very known. I know y'all talk about this some too. I do too, about Enneagram life.
Oh, yeah.
What I didn't know as a kid about I identify as a 7. That's the one that most closely relates to my experience and who I am is, I just always have big feelings and I didn't know what to do with them.
Sure.
And no one else seemed to understand me, though I think they really tried. And so I was just trying really hard to be understood and to be accepted and to accept myself. I mean, Jesus isn't kidding when he says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
Like, we always talk about love God and love others. But what Jesus didn't say, love your neighbor like you love your family.
Right.
Or love your neighbor like you love your kids, or love your neighbor like you love your pets, or the government, or your city, or love your neighbor, or even love your neighbor like you love God. Yeah. He said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yeah. And it took me a really long time to circle up with that and to reconcile that with me. I was just trying all the time. I was trying. I just would, if I could go back to her, I went to 2 different high schools. I switched after my sophomore year, and I would go back to first high school Annie. Yeah. Second high school Annie, she's fine. She's whatever. Go to college.
Survived.
Go to college. Yeah, just finish it. First high school Annie, I'd be like, it could be so much easier. Yeah. Here's like 3 ways it could be easier. If you don't care about this. Right. And if you do care about this. And what I can tell you 20 years down the road is this part doesn't matter, so don't care.
Yeah, see, that's it. Like, my 5 words would be try to really not care.
Yes.
Because I was always the disenfranchised kid who was like total counterculture, everything. And I put myself in that place intentionally. And I still do that to some degree. And, I don't care. The reality was I cared a lot. Yeah. I cared way too much. And to have that nugget of wisdom as a kid, to realize that these other knuckleheads that are just treading water like I am, their opinion doesn't mean anything, would have been so great to grasp and live out. I would have been a lot healthier. Maybe as an adult.
Right. I mean, part of me, as I'm listening to us, I'm going like, Do I remember that today?
Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's flash forward then. So we did this 5 words for kids. But like you said, you started writing, your first book was
2012 is when it came out.
Okay. So you're different now than you were then. What would you tell first author?
Oh, yeah.
Annie.
I would tell first author Annie, what would I say to her? Gosh, I would be like, this is not at all what you think it's going to be, but it's great.
That's good. Okay.
It's not at all what you think it's going to. I mean, I just think a lot of people assume a lot of things about careers they haven't been in. That's true about everybody.
Sure.
You know, when you finish college or high school and go into a job, you think you know what it's going to be like, and it's very rarely, y'all probably experienced that too, it's very rarely exactly what you thought.
You had no idea what I was doing when I got into this.
And so I would just tell her that. I would just say, it's not going to be what you think.
Yeah.
But hang on. And go.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to enjoy this. And also, it's going to be costly. And also, it's going to be hard. And also, it's awesome.
There are people that are going to bruise you and people that are going to love you.
Yeah,
I think that's the hardest part for me coming to like Christian radio, because my whole first half of my career is mainstream radio.
Yeah.
And I got here thinking I was going to be welcomed with open arms, and quite the opposite. People hated me. And I was pushing buttons accidentally, unintentionally.
Right.
And that I wrestled with that because I just wanted to be liked, and I wanted to do something that was living out my faith and something that I love.
Yeah.
And it messed with me for the longest time. And I've gotten better about not having it wig me out, but there are those few that they have the cutting words that when something isn't a salvation issue and it's more of a style issue, but then they make it like, you're not even a Christian. That one gets me, you know. And I still haven't fully shielded myself from all of that.
Being misunderstood is really painful to me and probably to all of us, but being misunderstood, if you were to list like what hurts the most, being misunderstood probably hurts the most to me, in personal and in professional relationships. And so when some friend on the other side of Instagram or on the other side of a book or the other side of a podcast.
I like how you say friend. You're so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, knucklehead.
Fans are so not what I have. Like, fans are so weird. I don't like calling people fans because I'm like, who am I setting myself up as? It's just anything. There's a lot of people that I love and respect deeply that use that word perfectly fine. I don't. But the friends on the other side of the work we do, when I feel like they've misunderstood me, is really painful. I'll take getting yelled at for a disagreement. Sure. I'm like, fine. Absolutely. We're going to end up on different sides of this.
Let's debate
You've had a tough day.
Yep.
I get it. Fine. I don't care. You ran into, I saw a car wreck this morning, and I'm like, those 3 people are going to have a terrible day. Full stop. Nothing that was supposed to go right is going to go right. And if I interact with that person on Instagram tonight at 8 o'clock, I'm going to have a bad experience. But it's being misunderstood that really bruises me the most.
100%, because it's something you didn't intend for a purpose, and it gets taken that way and then attributed like negatively to you. That one drives me nuts. I'm an 8, not a 7 on the Enneagram.
My wing is 8. That's why we like.
So y'all two are the opposite. He's an 8
with a
wing 7.
Yeah.
You're a 7 wing 8. I'm a 9 wing 8.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
Yeah.
Well, no, you say that. I'm sweet on the outside. On the inside, I have all the thoughts of
I was about to say, on the inside, you are a raging bull.
Yes.
And as soon as the thermometer reaches the top number, the mercury explodes.
Oh, it does. I've seen it. It's glorious.
Yeah, it's great. When a 9
He's the
really
reason my 8 comes out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think that's one of the things that.
Wait a minute. Well, I want to come back.
No, she's right.
No.
Moving on.
Well, I mean, y'all just spend so much time together. I am sure that it's the people.
Circle back.
Your middle of your bullseye people are the ones who my guess is, we've been friends for a full hour.
Yeah,
my guess is.
That's my point.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure.
Don't interrupt us, Wally, please.
My guess is
classic 8. Am I right, Annie?
Yes. Those people closest to you are the ones that you try to please the most, and also the ones that reach your top of your thermometer the quickest.
Yeah.
Huh.
I might be wrong.
That.
Yeah, because she does try to please me with work for sure. Like and I do that too with our boss.
Yeah, and holds back and wants to. I mean, you know, because they're the people you love the most.
Yeah, you.
But
care
also,
about them.
you can only tell your roommates 9 times to do something before it's like, why haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
It took all I had in me to tell you once to please move that in the refrigerator so that the water bottle could fit.
Yes,
exactly.
The headphone fight. The headphone fight.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Okay, so I had a deal with his
We
headphones.
don't have to bring it up.
But you did.
No.
But I told him 3 times about something that bothered me, and he kept doing it. And so I felt disrespected.
Yes, because it took so much.
It did.
For you to say it. Whereas for him and I,
it was a nothing
to say
thing.
it 3 times is like, I'm just getting started.
Right,
I'm
right.
just pulling the lawnmower.
Right. I'm not even listening by the third time.
Right. And I've told people 3 times what made me mad, and no one cares, so I'll just say it again. But for you thought, this is my moment to express how much I care about Wally, because I'm willing to say what's hard for me.
Exactly.
And after 3 times, that is beyond what is.
Oh, I wish you were here all the time.
Yeah.
You could be our mediator.
No, you don't need that.
Okay, so here's what I want to do, rounding this out. Annie F. Downs, oh my goodness, I love you. I really enjoyed this time.
You haven't even told people how I got here. Do you know how I got here?
No.
I accosted Wally at Momentum, and I said, "We share all the friends. Why haven't you had me on your show?"
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I said.
I think he said, "I don't know who you are." That's what he said.
Annie, what?
I was like, "Wally, I'm Annie. Here's who we share. I want to be on the show."
Well, here's what happened. Here's what happened, because we always have lists of people we want to go after for interviews, and you were on my hit list.
Sure.
But then somebody else here, Joy, had interviewed you.
Yes, I love Joy.
Oh, she's great. And so she interviewed you, and then she'd had you on a couple times. And so I didn't want to step into her world in that relationship, and so I just let it go. And so then when you said, "Hey, I want to be on your show," out of respect for her, I did go to her and say, "Hey, Annie asked me if she could come on the show."
And she said she preferred me over you. So.
Right. Yeah, I embellished.
I just was like, "Wally, we've been friends for forever from a distance. Let's do this."
I know, because we're wired very similarly.
Yes.
And so
thank you for letting me come at you at Momentum.
This is fantastic.
So humble.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, can we be friends? I mean, I bet I said that 18 times. The We Are Messenger guys. I mean,
Darren.
Darren, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was like, I would like to be your friend, and he was like, I have a prophetic word for you, and I was like, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So him.
Darren's the real deal, man.
Oh, I just love it. And
Yeah.
so I am very like, in your like, your question of, do people like, you want to be up close to them and they may not. My whole life, I've been the one who pursues a lot. It's just in my personality where I'm like, hey, Betty, I like you so much. I hope this isn't the last time we see each other. Now I have your Instagram handle. I'm built this way. And so it doesn't stress me out.
It doesn't me either. And I was telling someone the other day, I said, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten more extroverted.
Yeah.
So for instance, one of my closest friends, I reached out to her because I was like, she's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be her.
Yeah.
And so I reached out and I said, hey, I slipped into her DMs and I'm like,
girl.
listen, let's go get some coffee.
She stalked her and became best friends.
Stalk her.
You did. It was calculated. I'm not
fine.
saying it's bad. I'm saying you
It's your
calculated.
tone, Wally.
Yes.
It's your tone.
You were calculated in your approach to friendship. How
so
about
I'm
that?
just saying, if I slip into your DMs, think nothing about it.
No, I think great things about it. Wally, sorry, I know you're trying to end the show, but I wanted to thank you
Not at all.
for having me on and
You
letting
are
me come
too
up
kind.
and speak to you.
You can always thank me. You can always brag on me. I have zero problem with that.
Okay, good.
Okay, so here's the deal. You are a great writer, a prolific writer, and you have a lot of great quotes. Like, for example, be brave enough to love the people around you, even if it looks like sacrifice and feels like loss.
Yeah.
Love that. That's deep. We were never meant for a wimpy life. That's fun, but true. Practice makes perfect is true, but practice makes confidence is truer. So good. Okay.
Thanks, yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. I have 3 envelopes
Do you
here.
know this game?
No, we've never done this with anybody.
I know, but I was just thinking Betty knew.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's first envelope is nouns and pronouns.
Okay.
Second is verbs and adjectives. Verbs and then adjectives. Okay.
Okay, you wish I knew what all that meant.
I have written down a bunch of words. I want you to take these jumbled words
and just make a good quote.
Formulate your next big Annie F. Downs quote. Okay.
You gave me so many words, Wally.
I know. I gave you too many because I wanted to give you options.
And I got a feeling he didn't give you good words.
No,
either.
I did.
Oh, you did.
No, the verbs are great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted success for you. And what I'm even going to do, because conjunctions and prepositions would have been overkill, I've got some pieces of paper you could write like is, or you could have a conjunction or a preposition. Okay. So here's that. I'm going to give you these.
So I can use like when and if.
Yes. Because I couldn't have that many words to do this. But I really am hoping that you will find something that is going to be your next quote in your next book.
Okay.
She's moving fast.
Well, let me tell you one thing. I could do a period after this. Believe people.
Okay. See,
Believe people.
There you go.
Like
That's
when
one.
someone tells you their story, believe them. You may have questions.
Interesting.
You may not understand exactly what they're doing. You may not love it. They're waving at you.
Oh, sorry.
They're telling me I need to do it horizontally.
They really meant it. That was like like 2 seagulls.
That was intense.
no joke.
That was like landing a plane.
Yeah.
Over
Okay,
here.
so believe people. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
So believe.
You did that way faster than I thought, and
Well,
I spent all
I
that
love
time
believe.
cutting. Could we do one more?
Yeah, I'm still going. I'm not done.
I
I'm just
cut a lot
starting.
of pieces of paper there. My daughter's funny. My daughter's a huge Annie F. Downs fan. She was so sad she wasn't going to be here today to meet you. And she's like, could you have her do a quote for me?
Oh, okay, let me do that. Tell me, she's 22.
She's 22, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me
Is there something about moving out of my house?
Oh, my word.
This is awesome.
Is this how your writing goes too? When you're writing,
I wish.
Just jumbled up pieces of paper.
Jumbled up words that ended up. I'm looking for you.
There's a great line from this old band. Like I don't think anyone's ever heard of them. Virgo's Merlot, and it says, "Makes words out of my scattered letters." And I love the beauty in that. And that's kind of what this is. So you're making a genius quote out of scattered words right now. I know it's tough. I probably gave you too many words.
No, I like it.
Okay.
I just don't want to waste your time. So
you're not wasting my time. Like I got all day. I mean, you're looking at my day. I might get some lunch. Yeah, if she's still working on this, I'll call out. We'll DoorDash something and we'll knock this out.
So far, okay.
I need believe.
Yeah, I can't.
Can I change? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay, so she's writing down. You gotta add a conjunction or something.
Yeah, I need will. If
okay, you can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I figured I couldn't have every word, but all right. Are we close?
I need help. Do you see help? No.
Help. I did have help in there. It's in there, so you could write it down if you want to. But I did have help.
I don't want to cheat. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do without.
Okay.
She's using build instead.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of surprised that you actually used words like storm, strength, faith, dream. I thought you were going to use like colonoscopy.
No.
Hangnail.
No. I tried to literally do it legit. Like I looked at a bunch of motivational posters to find words they use. I looked at a bunch of Annie's quotes and pulled words out of that.
Give it to hang in there with the kitten.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh, wait. Who is this one for, Annie? That
his daughter.
Oh, okay.
But I need to change out give.
Okay. I will allow a substitution.
Thank you.
Also, you must be a very competitive person, Annie, because you're really taking this seriously.
Yeah,
I would have thrown something together and said, "This is good."
Yeah, exactly. His daughter cares, Rock. Annie has a soul for people. And she has 4 minutes till she has to leave. Yeah. Like I'm trying to watch her time.
Okay. Okay, she's hard at work.
I need another with. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's why I gave you the extra little pieces there.
With.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
This is going to be profound.
This is
you
for
ready?
your daughter.
Drop it on me. Okay, here we go.
I think this is really true. Everyone trusts you with the journey they believe will build a courageous life.
There you go.
I think it's really true because I think the things we share we're saying that to people because we actually believe it'll help them build a braver life.
There you go.
And so everyone trusts you with the journey they believe will build a courageous life.
I love it. See, thank you for doing that for Haley, and you crushed that.
Can we tape it together and I'll sign it for Haley?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
A cute idea.
That's awesome. Annie, I cannot thank you enough. I hope this is not the last time. I hope we'll be in each other's phones.
Let's do phone numbers.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, we made it to that level. Wally. Here's my number. No,
Bullseye.
Just like 615.
Yeah, we can be phone friends, but I won't be your true friend until I know what that F stands for.
Okay, fair. You'll know when you know that's when you've reached it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Annie F. Downs, everybody.
Yay,
Don't forget,
guys.
the book is What Sounds Fun to You, her first kids book, and definitely worth the read for you and your kids. And we appreciate you being on with us. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.